Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. Welcome to another compelling program talking about the issues that matter most to you. We're kick off the program with Tara Colton, who is Executive Vice President for Special Projects at the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Tara, great to have you with us for the first time.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Well, Tara, let me jump into this whole question of childcare. We're involved in an initiative called Reimagine Childcare. You have said, and it's an interesting quote, childcare has finally been recognized and acknowledged as a vital part of our economic fabric. What does that mean?
I think quite simply, if you look back on the past year and a half, if this didn't convince you that childcare was critical to our economic stability, success, and forward momentum, I don't know what will. Just thinking about the fragility of how working families are able to sustain and support their lifestyles, their commuting patterns, and their work needs. Childcare is really at the core of it, and childcare as an economic enabler for both the workers in that sector, it's a substantial employer in New Jersey, but also childcare as something that enables families and parents to go to work, go back to work, look for work, attend school, attend training. Without it, it really, I think, is impactful. And you can see that in a lot of the data and trends that have come out recently about working parents, especially working mothers, leaving the workforce.
Well, let's talk about the EDA, the Economic Development Authority. What is the EDA's role as it relates to childcare? Because it's the job of the EDA, if I'm not mistaken, is to stimulate economic activity in the state. Connect that to childcare with the EDA.
Sure. So the mantra from Governor Murphy has been a stronger, fairer economy for all New Jerseyans. And I think we can now add to that a more resilient economy. And what's become so apparent is that without a sustainable and sort of well-structured, well-funded childcare sector, the workers in the state will struggle, but also businesses will struggle to attract and retain the staff that they need if they don't have a safe, high-quality place to send their kids during the day. I can, as a working mom with two little kids, I can certainly speak to that from personal experience.
How old are your children?
I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old.
So this is very good. I'm sorry.
No, they've been in home-based childcare. They've been in center-based childcare since they were 3 months old. And as a working mom, it has been vital to my ability to, succeed in my career and support our family. So it's been crucial for me personally, and that's partly why I feel so passionate about this. But I also think that the economic trends and values are so stark that this is kind of a no-brainer when you think about how critical it is for supporting businesses. And so that's what we've been trying to do at the EDA, is to think about how childcare businesses, even though many of the childcare providers in the state don't necessarily consider themselves businesses. They got into this because they love taking care of kids and they're good at it, or maybe they had small kids of their own. And so what we're trying to do is support them to both build their business acumen and avail themselves of resources that are available throughout the state, but also to think through in the longer term, what are some smart investments that could be made to shore up the childcare sector.
It's interesting. The EDA, the Economic Development Authority, is one of our partners in an innovation initiative we're involved in about innovation. Now, you may ask, what the heck does that have to do with childcare? It's because when we use the term innovation, or it's called the innovation state, if you will, a lot of it's about technology, the biotech sector, et cetera, et cetera. But connect innovation to innovation in the world of childcare. A, how much has it innovated and evolved? And B, what does it need to do to innovate moving forward?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think the state of providing childcare and really the focus of a lot of, under Governor Murphy's leadership and our Department of Human Services, Department of Children and Families, they've really focused on both innovations around curriculum and early childhood education, but also on raising the bar when it comes to quality. And so there's a system called Grow New Jersey Kids, which allows providers to enter into a rating system. And if they receive higher ratings, based on certain objective criteria, they're able to receive higher payments through the state's subsidy system if they enroll low-income children. And so one of the areas where we're recognizing there's a gap is that there are many childcare providers who would love to be able to advance within that system, but they don't have the resources to make some of the improvements that are needed in their facilities to then be able to qualify for that higher rating and ultimately that greater level of revenue. So a big part of what we're trying to do is raise the bar for the quality of care for every kid in the state, but also to think about long-term, what are some smart ways to sustain the sector and maybe do business a little differently, whether that's sharing sort of back office administrative functions or thinking about new ways to support how providers are paid for childcare services, support to families. I think that there's a lot of ways to strengthen and really, frankly, increase the amount of respect and professionalism that is bestowed upon the sector, which it has always deserved. I think it's just been during the past year that it's finally taken on the energy and focus that it long deserved.
Tara, got a minute left. I want to ask you about this. We have interviewed the First Lady. By the way, we're taping on the 22nd of June. We've interviewed the First Lady, Tammy Murphy, about the Nurture NJ initiative. Remind folks what it is and what the EDA's connection to it is.
Sure. So the Nurture New Jersey, Nurture NJ initiative, led by First Lady Murphy, is really an extraordinary cross-agency collaborative approach to combat New Jersey's, frankly, abysmal rates of maternal and infant mortality and the racial disparities that exist within our system. So knowing that Black women in the state are significantly more likely to die during childbirth than white women, Black infants are significantly more likely to die within their first year of life. And so the First Lady has convened this incredible coalition of stakeholders, providers, mothers, caregivers to come up with a set of recommendations about how to really improve that and make New Jersey the safest and best place in the state to have a baby and raise a child. EDA has been involved in that on a number of forums, but one of the areas where we've really been thrilled to partner with the First Lady has been to enact the establishment of a Trenton-based research, innovation, and healthcare center that would be focused on maternal and infant health, right, particularly around racial disparities. And so that's been something that EDA has been helping lead the charge on.
Tara Colton from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. We thank you so much for joining us, Tara.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
New Jersey's early educators and childcare providers are more than twice as likely to live below the poverty line versus the general workforce. Reimagine Childcare, formed by a coalition in New Jersey, is dedicated to improving accessibility, affordability, and quality of childcare and reimagining the way we support these essential providers. Learn more by visiting reimaginechildcare.org.
Also brought to you by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare. PNC, Grow Up Great. Choose New Jersey. Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Here when you need us most, now and always. The Fidelco Group. Johnson & Johnson. Berkeley College, celebrating more than 90 years of preparing students for lifelong careers. Englewood Health. And by PSE&G, committed to providing safe, reliable energy now and in the future.